welcome to our cooking special on fried rice and chicken. And so for our ingredients we have some soy sauce. Don't Koreans like soy sauce?
I'm an Asian, always use soy sauce.
So it's a very important ingredient. And we also have some very healthy, might I add, extra virgin olive oil. As compared to vegetarian, this helps keep your cholesterol down and it really helps you. Even though we're going to put a stick of butter in there. But, we have some wonderful, great value rice, the best quality possible. And peas, because in fried rice, some of the most important ingredients are the vegetables, such as the carrots, the onions, the peas. And lastly, and most importantly, our meat component. I know Chinese tradition and dishes love meat, and so we went ahead and got chicken. And so I think that would go very well with the fried rice and the vegetables. We'll add a nice protein substitute. We're opening the rice right now. It is very important when you're cooking rice to know your proportions. Because unlike a lot of things, rice you really want to make sure it's nice and plump before you boil it. And so what I'm going to do here is go ahead and pour it into our pot. And so we have plenty of rice here. That's a pretty fairly good amount. That's the whole servings, and I think this can serve a 4th cup is 1 serving. So this is probably pretty good for what do you say, Minbao?
I mean, 4 cups is a little bit much for 3 people, but we
But
can
still,
yeah,
it's still fairly
a fair amount for.
And you always want some extra rice.
Yeah.
And so what we're going to do here is go ahead and put some water. And so the main part of this is, 1, we want it to swell, and 2, we want to make sure the rice is clean. And
you have to also wash it over and over.
Of course. Because it can get pretty... do you see that? Do you see how nasty that water is? That's rice water. So as you can see, the rice is much nicer now. This is after 3 rinsings. And so this is our 4th and final rinse. And as you'll see, as compared to before we actually cleaned the rice, the water, if you'll come closer, the water is more transparent. And so before you couldn't see anything, it was just completely white. And so now after having cleaned it about 4 times, you can actually see the rice underneath is transparent. And so after this, we're going to drain this and then put it in more water and let it sit for 15 minutes. The rice sits and absorbs the water for 15 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and start with the carrots. And so the first thing you want to do is wash them. They're actually fairly dirty, even though they're already washed. And so if you can see, the skin is kind of dryish and it's going to be a very rough texture. And so you don't want to eat that. And you don't want that in your fried rice. And so I'm going to go ahead and peel that off. And so we're doing this by the garbage disposal, and so what will that mean is the cleanup is going to be really easy. So now that we're finished chopping up the carrots, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the onions. And what we want to do with this is dice them. And so this way they're small enough to where they can mix in with the fried rice without really being large chunks like you would see in onion ring. Rice is pretty much done, so if you could go ahead and come over here, we'll see. So the way you know if rice is overdone or not is by how sticky it is, and this is actually fairly nice for Chinese food. And so once you go ahead and take a little bit, you can smush it with your hands, and that's fairly good. That means it's not uncooked. And since the rice is fairly well done, we can go ahead and come over to the chicken. And as you can see, we went ahead and added some spices. We added some extra virgin olive oil, some peppers, and I think salt. And now we're going to go ahead and fry this, and every fried rice needs eggs to add a very nice taste to the rice, and they're very nutritious. And so what we're going to do here is take 3 eggs and scramble them. And so all you want to do is you want to break it, and then just like that, perfectly. And so the shell is in 2 pieces, and the egg's inside, and there's no mess at all. And we're going to go ahead and do this for all 3 eggs. And so, now that we have them all inside, with the yolks as well, we don't take out the yolks. The yolks are actually very nutritious. I'm going to go ahead and scramble the egg in order for it to be fried. And you can't fry it until the chicken is cooked, so we'll leave this here for a little bit. And if I can, I'll add some salt and peppers later on to make sure that it comes out well. Now that the chicken is pretty much cooked, I'm gonna go ahead and add the eggs. And so what you want to do is make sure it doesn't mix with the chicken. And that's a fairly good amount. And go ahead and pour it all throughout the pan. And so this way, it goes ahead and cooks alongside the chicken. And so when we add the rice, everything will already be inside of the pot and ready to cook. Now we're going to go ahead and add the rice to the rest of the meal. And we went ahead and added the veggies. And so this is fairly done. And after this, all we'll have to do is add some more soy sauce, stir it, and we're pretty much done. Finally done with all of the vegetables, and it is done. And the aroma is so well. You can really smell the soy sauce, and as you can see from the rice, it changed colors. It went from white to a brownish color, and that's because it's absorbed the oils as well as the soy sauce. And we added green peas to it, and carrots and onions, and those all mixed in so beautifully. We went ahead and also added a chunk of butter, and what that did is really helped glaze it in like a nice glaze over it, as well as the taste of the butter. It'll really help with the fat, since when we're taking the chicken, we took a lot of the fat out. And with this, we're pretty much done, and it's ready to eat. And so here we have 4 serving sizes, and the rice actually turned out really well. And the portions we had were perfect, actually, 4 cups. And now that it's complete, all we gotta do is eat it. What about you?
Yeah. Want to go?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Wow, that crunchy onion was really good.
And also the carrot is really well cooked, so it's not really hard. It's kind of soft, but still like not still like super soft. So
I agree.
Like,
the
really,
texture
really
is nice too. And wow, the egg came out really well.
Yeah. The egg.